Yakuza is one of Sega's most well-known game IPs, and Yakuza 7 Light and Darkness was released on November of 2020. Yakuza 7 is different from the other Yakuza games in a lot of ways, and it's pretty controversial. The most obvious change is that Yakuza 7 is no longer a hardcore fighting game. It is now a turn-based JRPG. The risk of this innovation is huge. Yakuza may lose some of its fans. Personally, I was very shocked when I heard Yakuza 7 was a turn-based game. Although the courage to make changes is encouraging, the huge change might have a negative influence. As expected, most players were disappointed by the news in the beginning. You can experience fancy skills and strange magics in Yakuza 7, but isn't as exciting as before in terms of fighting. According to the past experience, Yakuza 7 was supposed to be a failure. However, the reviews of Yakuza were mostly positive, and players are giving positive feedbacks as well. The rating on Steam is overwhelmingly positive, with 96% of positive feedbacks. And how did this happen? Let's take a closer look at the controversial turn-based fighting system. The reason why people don't like turn-based games is simple and obvious. Those games are likely to be slow-paced and boring. Players have only a few operations during the fight. An ordinary turn-based game is mostly about stats. It doesn't require the players to practice their skills. However, Yakuza 7 solved this issue perfectly. There are real-time combats in turn-based fights. You don't just press a button to release a skill. Instead, you have to do the quick-time events to maximize the damage. While you are under attack, you need to guard the enemy's attack by pressing the button at the right time. And this prevents you from getting bored, especially during a boss fight. It is quite intense during a boss fight, and you will suffer huge damage if you fail to guard an ultimate skill. Of course, you are free to turn off the real-time combat system. However, you'll lose a part of the skill's damage as well as the fun. During the fight, your character moves randomly, and you have to adjust your strategies based on your character's position. Most AoE attacks have a rather small range. You need to wait for a good timing that enemies stand closely together so that you can hit them all with a single AoE attack. But if you are in bad luck, you'll find the enemies are coming from everywhere. That AoE attacks are useless in this situation. In addition, the process of releasing a skill might be interrupted by the enemies as well. Anyway, adding randomness to a turn-based game is interesting. Some players claim that the style of Yakuza 7 is too much of a child's play. The background of Yakuza series is related to the gangsters in Japan, but the special effects of skills make Yakuza 7 look like a fantasy game, and this is related to the main character's settings. The main character, Ichiban Kazuga, is a teenager that addicted to Dragon Quest. He imagined enemies and himself to be the characters in Dragon Quest, and that's where all these strange skills came from. You have to admit that the makers of this game really got some talent. They made all those fancy skills look reasonable in Yakuza 7 and maximized players' gaming experience. Experiencing the game with all these funny skills is indeed a great fun. Believe me, this is nothing like those turn-based games you played before. Apart from the fightings, Yakuza 7 also has a great number of interesting mini-games. I will not elaborate too much here. Maybe I'll share some of it with you guys later. Well, I guess it's the end of this game review. This is Mogul Cloud Game. Thanks for watching.